Let's add some CSS style to our form now. Notice how everything's horizontal. Let's make this stack vertically so it looks cleaner. Let's go to our external style sheet so you can see that we're in our community page and we're working with an external style sheet called main.css, and let's put our style for our web form there. So let's open main CSS and let's scroll to the bottom of this style sheet and let's put a comment into our CSS. Let's go / asterisk and say web form styles start here. Let's put an asterisk and a / to end the comment. And let's go for the input tag selector for our two text fields. Input, put the curly braces, and let's make them stack up with display of block. Let's save that and look at our form. They're stacking. We still need to get the text area to stack, so we need to write a CSS rule for that one to display block as well. So let's copy the inputs display block, paste that, and change the tag selector to text area. File save that. Let's refresh. Alright, so we now have a nice vertical form that looks better. Let's add some more style to this. Let's set widths, margin, and padding so this all spreads out a little bit. So let's set some margins so things separate some. Things meaning elements. So let's do a margin for the top and bottom of 10 pixels and 0 on the side. And we're going to use that same margin on the text area to spread things apart there a little bit as well. So we'll copy that, come down here, and that looks a lot cleaner now. Let's go ahead and set the width of the form elements. So we're going to set a width of maybe 40%. Let's see how that looks. And we'll put that same width on the text area. Refresh that. That just spread it apart. Let's add some height, and we can do that by putting padding inside of these form elements. And we're going to put 3 pixels inside the text inputs, and let's not put 3 pixels on the side though. Let's put it just 3 pixels up and down and 0 for the sides. Oh, let's put a padding in there. Let's put 10 pixels there. Don't forget the colon. Zero on the sides. Alright, so things are looking better now. Let's actually start working with our field set to make it look more interesting. So let's set the width of our field set to 60%. So we'll come in and write a new rule called field set. And let's see what that looks like. That looks cleaner. Now let's center our field set. We're going to have to do some margins. We'll do a margin left auto and a margin right auto to center our field set. Copy that. Paste that. Scroll so you can see a little better. Make that margin right. File, save that. Now that centers. As we scale this responsively, we can see that our field set scales with the viewport size. Now what's redundant here is we have both this line from the field set and this horizontal rule. Let's get rid of the horizontal rule. That doesn't really look very good. So we'll go over to our community HTML page, go find the HR down at the bottom. Horizontal rule, we'll delete that. Save the community page and refresh. And that looks cleaner. We'll actually set some margin between those two eventually. Let's add a margin bottom 20 pixels to push that footer down some from the field set. Let's go to the style sheet. Margin bottom 20 px. Save that, refresh. And that gives us some breathing room between the bottom of our field set and our copyright. Let's go ahead and add some other things to this. Let's add some round radiuses to the corners of our field set just to make it look cooler. So we're going to come in here and go border dash radius. And let's make them nice and round and go for a radius of about 8 pixels on each corner. Save that. That makes it look a little more modern. Let's see what else we can do to this. We can actually change the border to 2 pixels wide. Let's make it solid and let's make it blue. So we'll go border, colon, 2px for the width of the border. We'll make the style of it solid. We'll use an RGBA color. Use your parentheses, and the first color is going to be 0 for red, comma, 65 for green, comma, 135 for blue, comma, give it a space, and for the alpha we'll make it 70% just to give a medium blue, 0.7 for the alpha. And let's save that and check our border. Alright, now that we have that happening, let's go ahead and let's work on our legend. Let's style our legend up here to make that look a little more interesting. So we're going to come down here under field set and go to legend as the tag selector, put our curly braces in, and let's go for a border of that one as well. We'll go border, colon, and we'll do the same thing as the other one. 2 pixels, we'll make it solid, we'll make it blue RGBA, parentheses, 0, comma, 65, comma, 135, comma, space, and 0.7 transparency. And let's look at that. All right, that looks all right, but let's round the corners of the legend as well. So we're going to do the radius there as well. I'm just going to be lazy and I'm going to copy the border radius from my field set and put those on the legend. And it looks tight inside the legend, so we're going to add some padding too. We're going to add 4 pixels of padding to all sides of the legend. Alright, that looks a little bit nicer, and as we scale it, you notice everything scales inside of it. I want to make my text input and my comments elements wider. So I'm going to go, we have a field set that's width of 60. Let's change the width of the elements to 60 as well for the text area and for the inputs. That looks better. All right, and there's our web form. Notice it works great in the mobile viewport, and it works great in the wide viewport. Let's move it up so we can see our footer. And that is styling our web form.